welcoming Mr. Jitu Mishra, who is by profession, he's an archaeologist, but he's taken into, he's an educationalist, a very well-known educationalist and a story traveler. So he's done extensive traveling. He believes in promoting handicrafts, handlooms, and he shares his stories, and he visits different places, get information about their lifestyle, culture. So here we welcome Mr. Jitu Mishra. Hello, Mr. Mishra. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much, Arpita, for a nice introduction. So yeah, I do a little bit of traveling, but yeah, that's fine. Thank you so much.
I get to see your post, and there's no one like you who's traveled through through the entire nation. You travel. It's in short, you've traveled the entire nation. You've covered our state completely, and you've given us very valued inputs, which is very informative in a way. So I would like you to share something about your experience, how it has been, your travel experience.
Okay, great. So I travel with a purpose, with an objective. So one thing that has been my quest right from the beginning of right from my childhood, I would say, is that we all have learned in our history textbook that India is a civilization of 5,000 years old. I mean, the civilization of India is 5,000 years old, and it's only country in the world where the tradition, which was started, the foundation was made in the time of Indus Valley civilization, still continued. So that quest is it has always been in my heart and in my mind, that as we say that we are a product of 5,000 years of history and civilization. So out that 5,000 years of history and civilization have molded our personalities, our characters as Indians. So what makes us different from the rest of the world, people from the rest of the world. So that was the sole objective. And that is what has, actually influenced me, prompted me to travel through the entire length and breadth of India, not everywhere. I have not gone everywhere, but at least I have covered a large number of states. And I usually don't go to the places which are which are touristy places. I mean, I go, of course, but that they don't attract me as much as the places which are offbeat, which are not much known. So where you get the feel of the countryside, then you get chance to meet with the local people, understand, explore their stories, understand the lifestyle, their adaptation to the landscape, and then the food habits, and then their way of life, everything. So that has attracted me a lot.
That's
So
so
in
nice.
and I am trying as much as possible to cover up the entire country so that I understand better as myself as an Indian, and then of course an Odia, because both Odia as well as an Indian identities, I want to understand myself. So that is how I travel.
That's so nice.
And I am more of a,
You're doing a great job. And so my next question to you is, what according to you is handloom and handicrafts? How do you see handloom and handicrafts? While traveling, you've met many people
okay.
who you've come across many weavers. You have dealt with people who make handicraft items. So, what are your views on it?
Handloom and handicrafts are the backbones of India's rural economy after agriculture. So I think any profession or any occupation which is practiced by a large number of people in the country is weaving after agriculture. So there is no doubt about it. And unfortunately, there are several factors starting from the time of the British Raj, where the machine made textile, the fabrics were introduced, and that is how the handicraft or the textile industry got a major suffering. And that is why Gandhiji took it off as as an icon for India's freedom struggle, Charkha.
Very
So that is how. So after food, what is important in our life is the vastra, that covers up our body, and not only protect us from natural, from cold and heat, but also it gives us a space for ourselves. So that is why I think textile or the handloom, which have been practiced right from the very beginning in India, and there are several. It is there. They are just not meant to cover up your body, but they are also they carry your culture. I mean, they carry your legacy,
Very
your
true.
history, your philosophy of life, your religions, everything. So, like if you go to, for example, the Kutch, I was fortunate to meet Mr. Ismail, who is not even a matriculate, but he, because, and this Azrak was dying off. You know,
Okay.
is Azrak is like, it goes back to the time of Indus Valley civilization,
Hmm.
the tradition of Azrak. And that was dying off because of the introduction of the chemical dye by the British during the British Raj, and it had almost gone extinct. So
Exactly.
he was the
Palloum is
man
taking
who
over
revived.
handlooms nowadays.
So he was the man behind reviving it. So he told me the story that why there are certain colors and patterns which are used in the Azrak,
Prince. Yeah.
fabric. Azrak fabric. For example, blue. If you are wearing, because nowadays people are wearing short and pant, but earlier days, 30 years, 40 years back, when you are going to a field, so you were covering with lungi or something, or
Yeah.
a sari, woman sari and man lungi. So they have to be bright colors, and they have to be, because it's a dull landscape. Kutch is a desert.
Desert.
So
It's a
you have
desert.
to wear some white, yeah, you have to wear some bright colors so that you can be easily identified. And so that is what he told me about, which I have done
Bright
a
colors
story also.
reflect heat, so like they don't absorb heat.
Yes,
So for that
yes,
reason,
right, right.
they use the bright colors.
Yes. So in every part of India, so every culture has, like you will find in Odisha Bandha, for example, or maybe in some tribal communities you'll find like Dongriya, for example, Dongriya cons.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't do actually weaving, but they are into embroidery of shawls. They call it kapda bandha.
That is
And if you see a Dongriya shawl, that depicts about the cosmology of Niyamgiri,
hmm.
the mountain where they live.
Okay.
The mountain, their history, the bloodshed in the past, and then the valleys, then the forest, and their villages. So it basically depicts the Niyamgiri in a capsule. So especially, the young girls and boys, the young girls gift actually to a young boy when they are in a courtship.
Because
So
I
that
like to
time,
add on something, because Dongriya is a tribal attire, but it is being woven in Orissa, and most of the Dongriya fabric is being woven in Nuapatna. That is in Mania Bandha, right? So Dongriya weaving doesn't take place in the Dongriya village, as it is being spoken about. So Dongriya weaving is taking place in Mania Bandha. So actually, the
no, no,
tribal people in Mania Bandha.
Dongriya shawl is different from weaving. It is
Okay.
not weaving. It is
Okay.
embroidery. It is done by them.
It is done by them. Okay, because that is a coarse fabric. It's a thick fabric because it's a
Yeah,
cold
yeah,
place
yeah,
out
right.
there. For that reason, they
Yes,
make it
yes,
as a coarse fabric. So for that reason, the shawls are being woven there. So, but the
right,
actually
right.
for the saris and the rest of the fact, they are being woven in Nuapatna.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
So that is Nuapatna, Maniaban actually are again a major cluster where they also do weaving for the Jagannath Khandwa Pata, what they
exactly.
call.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, Nuapatna.
Hmm.
So it's a very interesting story as well. The people, the weavers who are at Nuapatna and Maniabandha, they are actually Buddhist, and they're the only Buddhists left in the country, the traditional Buddhists. They practice both syncretic art, and they have also interesting narratives which have not been much told. So in a way, when you asked me about that, how I connect to the weavers. So I am not an expert in weaving. I do not know the technical aspect of weaving. But what interests me is the people, the symbols you find in the fabric,
Fabric.
and how they reflect the local history, the historical experiences, the culture, the nature, the adaptation, their
Like
belief
according to
systems.
you,
So
how does handloom and handicraft play a role in our tradition, in our culture? How do they define our tradition and our culture? Can you just explain?
so if you look at the traditional Indian society, so we have a caste system. And caste today is perceived in a different way because we have this middle, high caste, low caste, and all. But caste, when it originated, so that it is not possible for one person to do everything. So there are potters, there are weavers, there are blacksmiths, there are coppersmiths, there are washermen. So different castes, different occupations. So weavers, right from the beginning, they have been trained to do weaving. So it's a separate occupation, and they
Like
were
it is
given
passing
a
down
lot
the
of importance.
generations.
Yeah, from generation to generations, and they have
Right.
been given a lot of importance in the social and cultural life among the people. And in every, like even today also, like our marriages happen. Of course, now things are changing because of modernizations and other aspects. But 20 years, 30 years back, even when we were children, we have seen that how marriages, how we depended upon the weavers, because there are specific weavers you can't get from others.
That is what.
And they know what
Particular
exactly
place
is
is known for
required.
its
What
particular
exactly
kind
is
of
required?
weave. A particular place
Yes,
is
what
known for its
particular,
particular kind of weave. Yeah.
yeah, which weaving, which pattern is required, which fabric is required. So they know about it, and accordingly, they were employed, and they were, given. The return was given in kind. So now we are connected with our viewers traditionally, and unfortunately, because of introduction of branded clothes and all, MNC, multinational brands and all, like today they are. Of course, now it is reviving again. A lot
That
of
is.
companies are
Do you
coming
think
up with.
you just answered my next question? Do you think government is doing enough for the weavers, like for reviving the art that is dying?
Government see has a different machinery. They have a different approach. So they want they don't get into the emotional aspect of a beaver. I mean, maybe they are able to generate market or something. I don't know exactly, but they don't get into they don't understand the emotional aspect of
They
a
don't
beaver.
get into the depth, right? Like they just
Yeah, they
it's for their
yes,
own gains that they try and what do you say,
yeah.
support the community.
Yes, yes, yes. So once they're, they will probably supply a loom or something, at a consistent rate or something. They will do that, or maybe raw material supply or something. But other than that, they don't understand and intervene also in the emotional aspect of the weaver, the designing interventions and all. And for which even I think there are several individuals working, like you, one of you is there. I
Thank
mean,
you
there are
so
so many
much.
individuals. There are so many individuals working and for the cause of viewers. I think that is what is going to take them to the next level. And today is a world of collaboration, and so more and more people come and like you, like the young entrepreneurs, and they understand the in depth about their problems and what are the things required. So I have so many friends also in Odisha as well as outside Odisha, where they have been actually uh, they have been like helping viewers in their own ways and getting funds, and then they are trying to teach them about the contemporary needs, because there are certain regular the traditional
Traditional,
patterns and
yeah.
probably are, so
Everyone
they're
has a
probably
traditional
they don't
attire.
work maybe.
That is all. Like you need to, like weavers need to come up with the change. Like they need to accept the changes that is being accepted in the society. Like modern and tradition combined. That is a contemporary thing. That would refine the art,
Yes,
and that would increase the demand, I
right.
suppose. So
Yes,
you,
yes, I agree with you 100%.
you
So that, so like
I just want to ask you, like
even for example,
you have interacted with so many weavers. Have they spoken about their hardships that they are facing? What are the problems? Have they discussed it with you? Like you've got some ideas on it?
see, the main problem is that you know uh, they don't get the right price for their work. I mean, so there are exploiters, and so secondly, I see that many viewers have been reluctant to show their designs because they thought that probably I will steal their ideas and publish, or I will, produce in my own names. So this is what I think the trust building is not there. And third thing is that there are several issues like procuring raw material, middleman, and all sort of things are also there. So, soft skills, another problem what I find with the weavers, especially in Odisha, is that their communication skills are very weak. Today, I think communication and marketing is very important. They are critical
That is what.
for your growth. Yeah,
Because
for your
when
growth. I
Chanderi
think
weavers, Rajasthan and Jaipuri weavers, they are into export business. In Orissa, it's a dream
yes,
for the weavers. They aren't able to
yes,
communicate.
yes,
Like
right.
that is what. So they are being
Communication,
exploited. Communication is a big problem out here.
communication. Yes, communication, networking are major problems. So these are some of the problems I find among the viewers in Odisha. They need to be, their soft skills have to be refined, and they need to be more vocal, and so that those things are there. So probably government has to intervene more now, developing these aspects as well. The soft skills, creating market. So these are the things which government has not done enough, I think. So or like big corporates, those who are doing CSR funding. So these things are so that the confidence level goes up. And so these are the things I would say in Odisha require very badly, because Ikat Panchampally, and if you compare with Panchampally and all, like Odisha, Sambalpuri Ikat is not well known. I mean, and there are also problems. I have asked people, especially those my friends, women friends especially, they've told me that it's very heavy compared to what you have
So
in South
in
India.
that
So
respect, I would like to tell you something, Jitu Mamu. Like we at Duhita, we
yes,
are personally working with weavers very closely. We are working with them. We make sure that Orissa art, like we are providing with a very revamped version of the traditional patterns. Like we are working towards it, and we ensure that the ikats that are being done on the finest of the mulberry silks, which are extremely lightweighted. Like normally the pattos, the saris that are traditional saris, they're very heavy. But the contemporary
hmm.
saris that are being weaved by Duhita, and we are with association with the weavers, it's very light. We are working on it. So that is
Hmm.
yeah, that is where we are trying to bring a change, because the normal idea
Yeah,
about
that is very, yes. That's very important, because today nobody can carry, a very thick fabric, because people want light and comfortable,
very, very,
so
very
that,
comfortable
uh,
fabric. People are demanding that
yes,
they want comfortable wears. People they don't associate handlooms with workplace. But nowadays we are trying and changing the concept where the people they can associate the handlooms with their work outfit, like official wears. So it's a good thing that it's a change that is coming up. Lastly, Mr. Mishra, I would like any advice that you would like to share with us or give us, so that we can work towards a better progress.
yeah, I think you have to work hard, and I think branding and marketing, networking are more important, so that Odisha textile goes to more number of people across the country. Another thing is that we must be careful for the duplication, because I think I'm told that in Surat, the Sambalpuri textile, Sambalpuri patterns are not
Getting
textile, Sambalpuri
replicated, very,
patterns
very.
are as replicated, and what you buy for 1,000 rupees, that you can get in 200 rupees.
That is
So
what.
those things have to be checked. Huh.
I mean,
So I think one
I
must work also
personally,
in
I'll
those
share
lines.
an experience with you, Ms. Mishra. I've been to Surat personally and seeing the kind of like the saris that they manufacture. I myself, I got scared. Like Palum has taken up handloom in every which way. The production, be it the kind of the labor employment and everything, like the kind of the fabric, everything they have taken over. So it's very difficult for us. It's being very difficult on our part to revive the handloom thing, but we are working towards it.
Yeah, yeah, all the best for that. And
Share something about your project. Like I've gone through your posts, you were sharing about Majli and something, a very very innovative concept, innovative project that you are into currently working in. So I will request you to just share something about.
Yeah, I have got two channels. One is the Travel Stories Odisha, where I bring in the stories of Odisha, and the second one is the stories of India. Because I have traveled a lot and done a lot of documentations. And one thing what I tell about through my stories, through my presentations or videos, I don't give facts. I avoid giving facts, and I see a place. If you visit a temple in Odisha or elsewhere in the country, so I think the sculpture in the temple should talk about itself.
Very true. That's
So
such
you
a
have to
nice.
bring in life. You have to bring in life. No talk about when it was built, who built it, why it was built. But like every river has a story, every mountain has a story, every textile has a
Appreciate the
story.
beauty, the artistic beauty that is involved.
Artists, the stories of people, the stories of nature, and I think that I am yeah they I am very much influenced by these, that the stories. And then I also, like, I most of the things I try to bring in to bring grace, because and comforting people, because I think the world is so much of negativity nowadays. And it's important that we, as creative people, creative person, you should bring in as much as grace possible, so that you are able to comfort people, the stress level. I think that is what my approach is, that talk more positive things about our past, about our present, rather than talk about the wars and then the conflicts and all sort of things. So whether it is a temple, or it is a cult, or it is a wildlife park, or it is a sea beach, everywhere you have stories and how people relate to these stories. I think that is what I am trying to do through my channel.
that's
And
really nice. Like
they are becoming now popular also. A lot of people are liking it. So
through
yeah,
your inputs, even we are getting to know about lots of places which we didn't think that would be associated with. We could get to know about
yeah.
them. So all thanks to
Next,
you. And
after
us,
the COVID is normal, then we'll go together.
sure, we all are praying for that the situation
Yeah, yeah,
normalizes soon. And this COVID thing,
right, right,
please, we all are stressed for this. Like
right,
it's
right,
been
right.
months since we've moved out. So we are just praying frantically so the situation normalizes and we get back to what we are associated or what we are doing with. And lastly, Mr. Mishra, I would
Thank
like
you.
on 7th of August is Handlooms Day, and we are celebrating that at Duhi.
Doing something very I mean, a very novel work, and in a very creative way. I think I have got a lot of expectations from Duita in next 5 years. So it stands out. It will stand up. I am praying for it. It will definitely shine and stand up in the national market. Now today it is confined to Odisha, but it will definitely, and it will be like the brand of Odisha textile. So I want that. Like when people talk about Odissi textiles or Odia textiles, I think the Duhita should come first into their mind. And another thing is that it's located in a very historical place, close to the Baravati Fort, and which was the
Bollywood,
capital of
yeah.
Odisha for thousands of years. Yeah, and you have, it's like there is so much of emotional bonding as well. And from there, the textiles of Odisha were, exported to islands of Indonesia and Malaysia once upon a
That is,
time,
yeah.
through maritime trade and sea trade.
Bali Yatra,
And
that
you
is
are at the
Yatra we
very much
send.
Bali Jatra. Yes, yes. And you are very much there. I mean, that is what you should feel proud of yourself. And
And
yeah, I pray all the best, and I think it will definitely shine in next 5 years. It is shining, of course, but it will be considered as the brand of Odisha. When people talk about the Odisha, heritage of Odisha,
thank
and
you
then
so
Duita will
much.
come first.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Mr. Mishra. It is a pleasure to have a conversation with you and with all your
Thank you.
valuable inputs. Definitely, we are going to work on it and we'll strive forward. And thank you for all your time. And it's a great
It's okay. It's
experience.
my pleasure. It's my
Thank you
pleasure.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Mr. Mishra.
Bye.